Okay, so I didn't want to make a video. It's really late. Just finished my homework and I studied a little bit for midterms that I got coming up, but wanted to quickly go over tomorrow, Monday open, some things I wanted to point out fairly quickly. So I just want to point out we're looking on the daily chart, right? Showing some strength. I also wanted to point out just fairly quickly. Just wanted to point out on the monthly, the put imbalance. I wanted to point out on the I wanted to point out on Koyfin, uh, the strongest sector, XLF, showing the most strength on the day. XLF being a good indicator for a market bottom, right? It is an indicator though, it isn't something that's set in stone, but XLF showing strength on that day was a fairly good sign. Or G charts. I was already looking at stuff to long in XLF sector, maybe some like CB, TRV, AFL. These things look like they're moving into a leading sector, but BGR, BRO, these are starting to show some strength. Um, if we do begin to show strength, right, maybe I don't really have a full understanding of the economic like data currently. I haven't really been going over that over the weekend. I'm not too up to date, nor do I know if there are any news. Just because I've been kind of busy with homework and I got midterms coming up, so gotta really focus on that. But we take a look. It seems that on the daily, XLE is starting to show a little bit more strength. XLV, XLU, XLRE, XLP. XLF starting to show a little bit more strength, but this could all, shift tomorrow. It's not like this is like, okay, we're gonna go up into here. No, it's gonna all change. But what's leading will most likely come close to possibly moving out. It won't show the most weakness. So uh you guys do decide to take along, these are the sectors to look out for. I'd be a little bit iffy about XLB, um, XLU, XLV, XLP, maybe possibly even XLE, XLRE. Um, these are good sectors to look for long in, right? Uh, what did so XLF, XLY, XLE show the most strength? Maybe look for a continuation in those sectors. Um, what was the market prioritizing on the day of this um on the day of this big from 582 up to 594, right? What was the market prioritizing? They were prioritizing every sector saw a little bit of strength, but um stuff like large cap momentum growth, right? And you want to look for large cap, you want to look for momentum, you want to look for growth. Um that's what was the strongest. I think technology might be a little bit too volatile for the uncertainty currently at the time. Maybe something like XOC, right? Not really sure how Meta's doing currently, but the setup is looking fairly well, right? It don't see rejection. We could possibly see something here like 676 for Meta. Again, like I said, I'm not too up to date as far as Meta six, Big Put Wallace 700. I don't know if you guys remember, but I went over Meta here. Um, I went over Meta. I think it was somewhere over here, right? I took a trade here. I got completely liquidated. Um, I set up these areas here, talking about how Meta would probably come down to these areas before, making its move up. It did come down again. I think this is a somewhat bullish sign. I think the continuation is possible here, right? Don't take my word for it. Do your due diligence with this. There is a value, a fair value here, an open range, right? That you are tapping into. So you could possibly see a decline maybe tomorrow and then continue the trend or continue the trend. Uh, the long position here is it's possibly the best, but it can always decline, right? It could always just completely shoot down. So again, do your due diligence. Um, that's Meta. Why I am looking at something like Meta at the time, because if we're looking for a long in something, and we're looking for momentum, and we're looking for a possible uh something that might be a little bit more volatile without being so volatile, like some like Nvidia, you it would be some like Meta, it'd be something like what other sectors are in Meta? I mean, what other stocks are in the XL? Let's take a look real quick. The XLC members. So that'd be stuff like Netflix, Google, right? Verizon. It'd be these over here. It looks like Meta might decline. So this is on the daily. So again, this is why it's important to do your due diligence. But Meta, the dailies are um, EA, VZ, Verizon. These look like the strongest. Charter Communication, Warner Bros. Discovery, Walt Disney. Um, if that is if the trend continues, this trend continues, and um, if the trend continues and growth, the more volatile stocks, everybody's willing to put more risk, right? But I think it might be too early. This could be a triple top. This could come down. This could tap into something and continue. Um, it's a Monday. Don't really like trading Mondays. So it could always gap up and continue the trend, or just completely come down. So I'd be careful. There is this area right here where the price rejected hard from 594 down to 584, $10. You are coming back into this range where sellers are strong. So I'd be careful. This might be setting up for a triple top where it dips. You could be looking to tap into 593 range or the 587 range. Um, so it's always careful. You always got to be careful. Looking at stuff like the VIX, right? Where did the VIX last leave off? Where is it going to open up? 1963, still in a higher than, uh, still a higher range than you would ideally want to look for, right? You don't want to be in this range and be looking for a long, maybe a scalp, but um, as well as the PC ratio. I like to go over the PC ratio, so it's always good to look at the PC ratio as well. Um, so I went over a trade the other day. It was the trade that I placed, right? I was just one play too early. It was my thumbnail last video. So I think it was like something like this, right? And I got stumped out. I did do the little box. I like to do the little boxes where I would like to end the trade. So it'd have been something like this. Um, I just never completed it. I think I left it somewhere up here, but ideally this is what I like to do, and so this would have been a good trade had I been a little bit patient. But there's nothing that honestly would have told me that it was just a loss, right? Sometimes in trading, you take a loss because it happens, right? I like the setup here. It just didn't happen. It rejected. And there's nothing I can do about that. This was my setup, and there's no way unless I had just actually missed it and saw it reject again and probably entered um somewhere here, but I wouldn't have done that. I would have done this, but I did like the strength that it showed when it dipped here, and I would have probably caught a 586 to 580, like a $3 move. That'd have been nice. Um, so yeah, it also the market bottom. I think a market bottom might be and we can go over why I think that. We'll just go over the seasonals for something like SPY, right? It's gonna be fairly volatile from the third, right? It's gonna come back down. That doesn't mean that we're gonna see a come down back to like 583. We might just because we have like a open range here, fair value. So we might tap back into this level before seeing another spike before continuing the downtrend. So I don't think it's necessarily a good time to be looking for the long just yet, right? You just take a look at the seasonals, and this is just where the price opened up. Um, this is just like this is what this is like a average price. You know, it's like where the prices, what the prices tend to look like. It's not like, oh, it's gonna follow this exact model, right? It's not, but you can expect a dip. Uh, again, I wouldn't be looking for a long just here yet. Um, I'd be wary about any positions long. uh, Maybe scalps, right? It's not the position you want to be taking. A long position or setting yourself for a long just here yet. You know, I'd wait, definitely wait on that. Um, Ideally, you'd want to look for a sector that it's going to show the most strength, but XLF is going to show is showing that. It's also going to have a little bit of difficulties. XLE, it's looking a little bit better for XLE, but still, um, I think the market is going to set itself up for a correction, right? XLP as well. Just got to set yourself up correctly. Take a look at XLV, take a look at XLRE, maybe XLY, XLRE. So, what can you take away from this? It's just not the time to be making any long-term decisions on anything just yet, right? If anything, XLU um, showing that it could, right, with the XLU, maybe take a look for XLU, but don't, do your research, try to figure out what sectors, what stocks. You know, there are stocks out there that generally outperform the S&P. So if you can find a stock like that, that's your best bet. But see if Costco is still relatively volatile. This doesn't mean you can't be looking for a position in these, right? The market sentiment sometimes overrides or economics overrides like seasonal. So again, trying to think of some more stocks to look for here, but CCB, Monster, KMI. So it's like a KMI. Look at Monster. See if any of these sectors can show us that they have a relatively easier time outperforming the market. Hershey's doesn't look too bad, but again, ideally you would want to be careful. Again, what I like about Hershey's is in the XLC sector consumer. I think it's XLP, sorry. Um, yeah, so I think that's a double for. So here, I'll do this with you guys. Let's look for XLP, something in XLP. Let's look for. I do like that Hershey's is an XOP, something more defensive. Hershey's, um, good stuff like Walmart, um, and these other. Walmart can show us. So maybe, a position on Walmart wouldn't be that bad. Again, maybe you could wait and hold off until somewhere around the 12th or 13th. But hey, it doesn't look bad here. Who knows how well I might do, right? Every year is somewhat different, but Walmart doesn't look too bad. Walmart, um, take a look at other stuff like Protector and Gamble Co., PGCLBG, PG, something like PG, nope, BG, CL. This is also SYY, MKC. Oh, wow. So again, guys, just want to be sort of careful about what stocks you choose. Like, and again, this isn't like set in stone, right? The stock could always climb. It's different every year, but this is just a relatively like it's like an average. So something like MKC doesn't look too bad, and I do like that it's in a defensive sector. It's in a more defensive sector like XLP, where the stock market is looking to correct itself at this time. So can I be wary about the long position here? Can possibly see a triple top come down to maybe this 592 to 590 range. There's a level here on 588, so maybe watch to hold that 591 as well. 591, 589 seems to be relatively strong. 589 it could probably even come down to 587. So watch for those levels. Maybe a continuation to the upside before dumping again. So just my market overview for tomorrow. I want to continue to look for the XOP sectors, um, for the XOP stocks, right? Something more defensive. I don't trust the long here, right? I'm not gonna trust it. Um, I do think that those more volatile sectors might see some strength tomorrow, but whether it holds, I don't think so. Right? So we might see some manipulation where momentum is is prioritized over defensive, but I'd be wary about it, right? It's a Monday. We'd have to see how the market opens up and how it positions itself. So, uh, probably not gonna place any trades for tomorrow, but I'll be watching the market. So, good luck.